All right, so this is going to be your task 5, normalization. It says you will create a part of database to store details of computer components. Each computer processor fits into a special socket on the motherboard. Different motherboards have different processor sockets. Some sockets fit processors from more than one manufacturer. Let me see if I can show you. This is how a motherboard looks like. Okay. So if we just select, okay, there are several motherboards. This portion that you see, this is what we call a socket. Okay. Every motherboard has it. This. All right. So when a motherboard is manufactured by a company, it is compatible with one particular processor, which is basically manufactured by several companies. Or you can say that one model of motherboard is compatible with multiple processors. You can buy a motherboard made by Intel, and it can have a processor installed on it made by Intel or some other company as well. There are so many other companies, Gigabyte, Asus, AMD, they are into making motherboards. And when they make the motherboard, they are compatible with multiple processors made by different companies. मदरबोर्ड पे प्रोसेसर कहाँ पे लगता है? सॉकेट पे. ठीक है. सो व्हाट्स इंपॉर्टेंट? सॉकेट की टाइप क्या है, उस मदरबोर्ड के ऊपर कौन सी सॉकेट की टाइप है, बिकॉज सॉकेट कैन नॉट बी रिप्लेस्ड. हाउएवर आपके पास प्रोसेसर के अंदर बड़ी ऑप्शंस आ जाती हैं, बट ओनली अ स्पेसिफिक टाइप ऑफ अ प्रोसेसर कैन फिट ऑन इट बेस्ड ऑन द सॉकेट. समझ आ रही? यहां पे एग्जैक्टली वो यही बात कर रहे हैं. You will create a part of database to store details of computer components. ठीक है. Each computer processor fits into a special socket on the motherboard. So it has to be of a particular type. Different motherboards have different processor sockets. हर motherboard पे same socket नहीं होती, different type of sockets present होती हैं. Some sockets fit processors from more than one manufacturer. समझ आ गई इस बात की? एक ही सॉकेट पे एक से ज्यादा प्रोसेसर जो है वो फिट हो सकते हैं. ये मैं आपको इसलिए इतना इन डेप्थ बता रहा हूं बिकॉज इट हैज अ की इंफॉर्मेशन इन इट. और ये बात ये 2-3 दफा इस एक्सरसाइज में ये करता है. अब आगे देखो फिर क्या लिखा हुआ है. अ प्रोसेसर कैन बी फिटेड टू मेनी डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ मदरबोर्ड. वही बात नहीं आ गई कि एक जो प्रोसेसर है वो डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ मदरबोर्ड के साथ भी जा सकता है, या डिफरेंट मैन्युफैक्चरर के मदरबोर्ड के साथ जा सकता है, कंसिडरिंग कि उस पे सॉकेट जो है वो सेम है. समझ आती बात? ठीक है. डेटा अबाउट नो सम मदरबोर्ड्स कैन बी फिटेड विद डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ प्रोसेसर्स. Data about processors and motherboard used by the company but not held in stock will still be stored in the database. यहां पे वो कह रहा है कि जी about the processor and motherboards, if they are still out of stock, they are to be saved in your database. उनको आपने डिलीट नहीं करना, उनको आपने इग्नोर नहीं करना. फिर वो कह रहा है जी as prices of components can change daily, these will only be stored in database of an item if an item is in stock. So प्राइस जो है वो सिर्फ उस कंपोनेंट की या उस कंप्यूटर पार्ट की होनी चाहिए जहां जो बेसिकली स्टॉक में प्रेजेंट है. द वन विच इज नॉट प्रेजेंट इन स्टॉक, द प्राइस शुड नॉट बी स्टोर्ड. ठीक है. ये एग्जैक्टली उसी तरह बात है कि आप किसी शॉपकीपर पे जाते हैं के पास जाएंगे और उससे कहेंगे कि यार ये मुझे मदरबोर्ड चाहिए, उसके पास स्टॉक में नहीं है. ठीक है. और आप उसे इंसिस्ट करेंगे अच्छा इसकी कितनी की प्राइस होगी रफली, तो वो आपको एक कह दे कि ये जी इतने का है. वो कैसे कह सकता है जबकि उसके पास स्टॉक में नहीं? जब उसके पास एक कंपोनेंट स्टॉक में होगा तो ही विल कोट यू द एग्जैक्ट प्राइस एट व्हिच ही इज गोइंग टू सेल. समझ आ रही बात की? So only the components which are in stock, their prices are to be stored. आगे चलें. You must use the most efficient method to solve each task. All documents produced must be of professional standard and suit the business context. Examine the data in the files 206 motherboard.csv and the processor.csv. So हमारे पास ये दो files हैं. I'll just open up the motherboard. Best fit the data and try to examine the data. So we have a manufacturer column, we have the model column, a chipset, socket, memory, memory slots, number in stock, price, and ID. Let's look at the processors file. In the processors file, we have the manufacturer, model, speed in gigahertz, socket, cores, threads, price. We don't have the information for something which is not in stock. So we don't have the stock information. आगे देखिए. Analyze the contents of the motherboard file which contain details of motherboards made by each manufacturer. The company have decided to only use motherboards with a memory type of DDR3 or DDR4. Remove any items that have a different type of memory. वो कह रहे हैं कि जी DDR3 और DDR4 वाले जो मदरबोर्ड्स हैं ना उनको आपने कंसिडर करना है. उसके अलावा अगर किसी की मेमोरी टाइप है तो उसको आपने क्या करना है, रिमूव करना है. ठीक है. So we'll head back to our motherboards file. This is our memory. I'll just select the first row, apply filter, sort the memory to alphabetical order, and I can see a lot of them are DDR2s, then we have 3 and we have 4. So DDR3 and 4 are to be used, the rest of them are to be removed, which means that DDR2 memory records are going to be removed. So I've just select up until here. These records are not required, so I'm going to delete. Done. 2. Number in stock. Look at the number in stock. Smallest to largest. The ones which are not in stock, they are labeled as what? 0. So they are not present, which means their price should not be taken or considered. So I will just select the price column for the motherboards which have 0 number in stock. Up until here, and then I will just press delete on my keyboard so that the records can be, or the information is removed. So no price is to be stored for something which is not in stock. Do we all get this? Anji? आगे देख. Save the edited file as a spreadsheet with the file name motherboard followed by your center number, candidate number. So we are to save this now since the records are being removed. Any function applied? Any function applied? I just deleted a few records, right? So I'm going to save it as a CSV file. It does not matter that I save it in Excel workbook either. So let's say it's my motherboard edited file. Okay, still in comma delimited, and click on save. This file is saved. Next. Point number 7 says each individual motherboard will be stored in a location in the factory with a unique number. These locations are called L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, and so on. All right. You will plan and create a relational database normalized to the third normal form to store the data for the processors, motherboards, and location. So there are 3 key categories or entities that we are to save: processors, motherboards, location. Create a data dictionary in your evidence document. Include the details of the table, record, field, data types, and any other relevant information. Field names must contain no spaces and be consistent in style. So point number 7, you are to normalize it and then create a data dictionary as well, which is based on having a database concentrating on processors, motherboards, and location. ये समझ आती? सबसे पहले I'll look at my motherboard edited file and I'll make some changes. I'll remove the filter. Let's change the field names. So manufacturer is okay, model is okay, chipset, socket, memory slots should not have spaces. Memory slots, number in stock. So number in stock. Then we have price. This is ID. I would say MID, which is motherboard ID. Plus, I will select this. I will go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, duplicate values, and I will check whether there are any duplicates in the motherboard ID. There are none. That means that this can be the primary key for this particular table. I'll just cut this and insert this as my first column. Any issue? Right? Next, look at the processors file. Manufacturer, model, speed in gigahertz. So remove the spaces. Socket, cores, threads, price. What can be the ID? There is no particular field which can be probably an ID, because if I select this, go to conditional formatting, duplicate the values, there are duplicates in all columns. So in order to have the primary key for this particular table, what can I do? I can, no, not remove. Why remove? Do you see any particular row being repeated? So you will create a primary key. Let's say this is PID. How do I do it? 1 equals to this plus 1. Yeah, but I think for compound key, आप करके देख लेना. I think it will have duplicates unless until you select all fields. So it does not make sense. I would say having this is a better idea. अच्छा जी, उसके बाद उसने कहा था कि every motherboard needs to be stored in a separate location. ये इस तरह मान लो कि हर motherboard, हर single motherboard needs to be packed in one box and then placed in the location. समझ आती बात? आई समझ? अगर मेरे पास, मेरे इस बात का जवाब दें, अगर मेरे पास एक मॉडल के 5 मदरबोर्ड्स हैं तो वो कितनी लोकेशंस में सेव होंगे? 5 में होंगे कि एक ही में होंगे? 5 में होंगे ना, 5 सेपरेट उसमें होंगे. ठीक है. सो आई विल जस्ट क्रिएट अ फाइल कॉल्ड लोकेशंस. उसके अंदर वी विल हैव द लोकेशन आईडी. लोकेशन आईडी क्या होनी है हमारी? L1, L2, L3, राइट, एंड सो ऑन. कितनी होनी है? दैट वी नीड टू फाइंड आउट. इसमें स्टोर क्या होना है? मदरबोर्ड. अगर ये टेबल मेरा मदरबोर्ड के टेबल से लिंक होना है तो कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन इसकी वहां पे या उसकी यहां पे होनी चाहिए? हाँ, मदरबोर्ड सेव होना है ना, तो कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन यहां पे होनी चाहिए सो दैट आई कैन मेक द लिंक? MID, राइट? PID को बोल रहे? प्रोसेसर, मतलब प्रोसेसर. अच्छा, but how many motherboards? Let's look at the motherboard file. What? 733. How so? They are the records. Okay. So you said all these records have to be saved in a separate location. True? And these are, you're right, these are 733. But explain to me that how will you store a motherboard which is not present in stock? The quantity in stock is 0. Why will you, or how will you store it in a separate location? एक motherboard exist ही नहीं करता तो उसको रखोगे कहां पे? नेक्स्ट, हाँ, अगेन आएगा की बात नहीं हो रही. उसने कहा था कि जो मदरबोर्ड स्टॉक में नहीं है उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन डेटाबेस का हिस्सा होगी, और हर मदरबोर्ड क्या होगा, हर मदरबोर्ड एक सेपरेट लोकेशन पे सेव होगा। अब जब मदरबोर्ड अभी करंटली एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता तो वो सेव कैसे होगा, उसको रखा कैसे जाएगा स्टोर में? नहीं यार, यहां पे ना रखना कुछ, यहां पे और मदरबोर्ड्स आएंगे। दैट्स व्हाट यू सेइंग, यू रिजर्व स्पेस फॉर समथिंग व्हिच माइट हैपन, है ना? तो करंटली क्या होगा स्टोर में, क्या होगा कि यू विल ओनली स्टोर द वंस व्हिच आर एक्चुअली इन स्टॉक। कि यार पहले उनको तो रखो जो हमारे पास पड़े हुए हैं, जब दूसरे आएंगे तब देखी जाएगी। हाउ मेनी आर इन स्टॉक? अगर मैं इस पूरे कॉलम को इक्वल्स टू सम करता हूं, ऑल दिस, तो दे आर हाउ मेनी, 289। 289 motherboards are actually present in stock। समझ आती बात की? ठीक है, सम क्यों किया है? एक पर्टिकुलर मॉडल, द क्वांटिटी इज व्हाट, 4। कुछ हैं जो 3 है, कुछ हैं जो 2 है, कुछ हैं 1 है, which is why I added them up. So my total is 289। I'll come back to my location file. My IDs for location should go up until what, 289। इसको I'll select this and drag it up until 289. Okay, and since I'm going to link this file with the MID, so I will add this. But how to add them? Very simple. The motherboard IDs, let's have a filter on them. I'll select the first row, click on the filter, number in stock 1. All these IDs, I will select them, copy them, come to my location file, paste them। ये वो मदरबोर्ड्स हैं जो कितनी क्वांटिटी में, एक, लोकेशन एक ही लगेगी। ओके, यहां तक आगे 24 है। आगे चलो, नंबर इन स्टॉक 2, टेक द IDs, copy them, come to your location, paste it once, paste it twice, because they are 2 in stock। ठीक है, आगे चलो, we'll take it the number in stock as 3, click on OK, select the motherboard IDs, copy them, 1, 2, 3, done। Now let's look at the quantities of 4. Take the motherboard IDs, copy them once, 2, 3, and 4. Now if I have done the process correctly, my motherboard IDs should end at 289. True? Got it? Now this can be linked with my motherboard file. Now the problem is, how will you link the motherboard or the processor with the location? Location has nothing to do with processor, that we know, because location ID is only going to be associated with motherboards. What about the processor? Processor needs to be linked with the motherboard. Huh? Very nice. Why socket? Because that is the only connection point between a motherboard and the processor, which is why he repeated the same thing over and over again in the paper, trying to give you a hint that socket is the main thing through which the processors and the motherboards are compatible. So if I create a link table based on the socket, I can link it with the motherboard and the processors, right? For that, I will create a new file. I will name this as socket. In order to create that link table, I will head over to my motherboard file, remove the filter here. I'll take all the sockets because these are the all possible socket types. Come to my socket table, paste them. Then I will head over to my processor file, take all the sockets, copy them and paste them in my socket table. Table तो बन गया. Now in this particular table, I don't have to add any other information. However, the primary key for this table, in order to satisfy my first normal form, there should be a primary key. So I will select my socket, go to data and remove the duplicates. My data has headers. I'll click on OK. So they are left with 21 unique records. Can this file be linked with the processor file? With socket? One to many. Can this file be linked with the motherboard file? One to many. 4 tables. Normalization done. Okay? So you can save this as browse, save it in the same folder. This is my socket. I can save it as a CSV. Close this, don't need it. This is already, I'll save this as processors edited. Again a CSV file, close this. This is my motherboard edited file. It's already in correct order. This is my location file, so I need to save this. Click on browse, select the same folder. This will be my location or locations. Save it as comma delimited. Click on save. All Excel files saved. I think you can create the data dictionary by looking at the data, right? I'll just import and create the relationships so that we can. So this is the solution to normalization task 5. Click on OK. Close the table. We go to external data, new data from text file, browse. First of all, we look up the motherboard edited. This is delimited. Click on next. Contains field names, MID, short text, short text, short text, short text. Socket is what? Is it long integer? Should it be long integer? No, it has a few which are basically in text format. So short text will be the socket. Memory short text, memory slots, okay. This is okay. Price is going to be currency. Done. We click on next. Primary key is going to be motherboard ID. And this is going to be my motherboards table imported. New data, text file, browse. We have the processors. Delimited contains the field names. Long integer, okay. Short text, short text, short text. This is double, which is okay. This needs to be, socket needs to be short text. Cores, threads, price, currency. Next, primary key is PID. Click on next, and this is my processors file. Imported. New data from text file. Browse. We have, let's say, the socket file, which is actually our link table. Selected as delimited. Click on next. First row contains the field names. Click on next. This is short text. Click on next. Primary key, socket, next, and finish. New data from text file. This is going to be locations. Click on next. Delimited. short text and short text. Primary key is location ID. This is locations. Got all of them. Database tools, relationships, add all your tables. So let's have socket here, processor here. Okay, so socket is going to be linked with the socket in the processors, one-to-many. Socket is going to be linked with the socket in motherboards, one-to-many. Over here, the motherboard ID is going to be linked with the motherboard ID in the locations. So that's also one-to-many. That is basically the normalization and the relationships for task 5. Next, I think use your data dictionary to contents this. The file says create a database, name this. So I've already done that. All I'm missing is the data dictionary. You want me to create it? So that's the solution to your task 5.